Okay.
It's up to you.
Either way is fine. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
My name is Sarah Avery, and I am Alexis Avery's stepmother. I first met Alexis when she was 10, and one of the first memories that I have of her is taking her out for her 11th birthday to Friendly's, where she got the Monster Mash sundae and talked about that for the next 10 years. Whenever she came to our house, we always got Chinese food. We always ended with something with peanut butter. We've tried to make desserts with peanut butter. Sometimes we failed. Sometimes it was fantastic. She was a beautiful soul, and we had a lot in common. When she would come over, we would watch America's Next Top Model, Ghost Adventures, we'd bake, make crafts, and we also shared a love for Hello Kitty, which is now memorialized on my body forever. When she was taken from us, my husband, Alexis's father, Chris, has had an unbelievably difficult time. So much so that you have not seen him here at all during this trial, because he could not bear to see what was done to his daughter. He has forever been changed. Today, he is not the man that he was in December of 2018. He's a shell of the person that he used to be. He's withdrawn. He's unhappy, miserable, in fact, depressed. And I'm honestly scared for the day that he just quits, because he has not been able to move on. Alexis always said that if I ever got pregnant, that she hoped that she would have a baby brother. Unfortunately for her, that did happen after her death. Her brother was born 15 months after she died. He will never know what an amazing woman that she was, hear her infectious laugh, experience her beautiful smile, or know that they have the same almond eyes, even the same eye color. What is difficult is that we talk a lot about Alexis, and her brother just doesn't understand why he has never met her, why he can never meet her. Or really, he's only for who she is in his life. We tell him that is his sister, but it just does not comprehend. In fact, he thinks Darla, Alexis's daughter, is his sister. Actually, his best friend. Darla is his best friend. But Alexis will never, ever be able to enjoy that baby brother that she always wanted. She always wanted that baby brother. As for myself, I have PTSD from the day I had to tell Alexis's father that his daughter was murdered. I can still hear the guttural sound that he made after I said those words. Having to wait 5 years to receive justice has been horrible, and having to listen to and see the images of what was brutally done to Alexis will never, ever be forgotten. I miss the talks that we had as she grew into a woman and a mother, and how our relationship would have changed after she had Darla and I had her brother Finley. I can't help but wonder who she would have become and what her life would have been like today, 5 years later, and how proud she would be of the amazing girl Darla has become, and how similar she and her brother are in all the things she could have experienced. I can only hope that we can try to heal and remember the good memories instead of the constant reminder of what happened to her. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your words are important.
Your Honor, Mr. Dan Bray would like to speak. And Your Honor, I do just have some family photographs he asked the court to look at while he was delivering his statement.
All right, if you'll hand them up to Mr. Partika, or hand them up Chief Roberson, please. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Daniel Bray. I'm Alexis Avery's stepfather. I'd first like to start by thanking the court, the jury, the DA's office, the law enforcement, and the witnesses in this case. 5 years ago, our lives were changed forever. My wife and I were to become grandparents to a healthy, beautiful little girl. We look forward to being loving, supporting grandparents to her and helping Alexis in any way we could, taking Darla for sleepovers, spending holidays together, taking family camping trips, and spoiling her only as grandparents can. But as we know, that great honor wasn't afforded to us. In that early morning hours of January 12th, 2019, I lost my stepdaughter, Alexis Avery. I was no longer going to be a granddad. I had a new purpose, and that was to make sure that that little girl, who was only 5 months old, and who would grow up without knowing her birth parents, wanted for nothing: love, protection, unwavering support, the kind only a parent can give. That was my new purpose. Jessica and I adopted Darla, Iris Avery Bray. Instead of a grandpa, I'm now Papa, her dad. It's been such an amazing time watching her grow and learn. I can't wait to see the amazing things she will accomplish in her life. And to close, once again, I would just like to thank the jury for paying close attention to the facts of this case. And I thank you, Your Honor, for your wisdom. Thank you to the entire DA office, the victim witness advocates that were there for us over these last 5 years, the Westfield PD, the state police, and the brave witnesses that came forward in this case to serve justice. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Darla is very lucky to have you as her papa.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Ms. Jessica Bray. And she will be reading one other statement as well.
Here, Mr. Partika, here. Hand those back to Chief. Just hand those back.
I'm going to start with the letter from Alexis's sister. Your Honor, my name is Xander, and Alexis was my older sister. I had just turned 11 on January 11th, 2019. The last time I saw her, she wished me a happy birthday, and she told me she would see me Sunday for my birthday dinner. I wish I could look Blake in the eye and say, "Hey, big bro, do you remember me?" When Alexis wasn't around, we would play Roblox, sometimes other games. When Alexis was around, he would still make me feel included. That was the last time I was ever social in the real world. He broke me. I went insane and crazy, and that led me to being bullied in school, and almost everywhere I went, people would talk bad about me. I no longer went to school after that. I'm doing online school now. I no longer exist in the real world. I'm fully online with a TikTok account that has 129 followers. I still have nightmares. It's all Blake's fault. For a long time, I actually thought everything was my fault because I trusted him and defended him when no one else did. Now I know this is not my fault. It's his fault because he took her from us. He did bad things. He means nothing to me now. He may have broken real world me, but I will always live on by being online. And Alexis's story will always live on through repeating it to all my followers. He will spend the rest of his life behind bars, and that doesn't even seem enough. But if she can't live her life, then neither can he. She will go on through Darla, and Darla will never be exposed to a monster. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I would like to thank you, the prosecutors, the victim witness advocates, and all of the people involved in the process in this case. I am Jessica Bray, Alexis Avery's mother. For over 20 years, I had the honor and privilege of being Alexis's mother before she was so senselessly and cruelly taken from me. She is still my daughter and will always be my daughter, even though she is gone.
Although I still have two wonderful daughters whom I love with all my heart, there is a pain and emptiness inside me from the death of Alexis that will haunt me every day of my life. Alexis was quite literally my savior. I had her at a young age, and at a time in my life I could have gone either way. She came along and gave me purpose, a reason I had to succeed in life. And so we became partners in crime, like my best friend going through the trials and tribulations of this life with me. We basically grew up together, and I love her with every fiber of my being. I miss her smile, her laugh, and even her little attitude. She always had the spark to light up any room, even from a young age. Her personality was all her own. All that curly hair, the freckles on her face, her little lisp, her beautiful soul. She was a loving sister, a caring friend, and she was a doting young mother. She loved Darla so much, which is why she made the decision to leave her abuser and ultimately sacrificed her life in doing so. She knew Darla deserved better. A friend once told me that God knew the pain of losing Alexis would be so unbearable that he made sure Darla would be there to help us heal. She is the one great positive in all of this. Had my daughter not met Blake, we would not have Darla, and we love Darla so much that we cannot wish that either. She is so smart and beautiful, just like her mother, a daily reminder of her in many ways. We are so thankful to have her, and we will fiercely protect her. We have her training jiu-jitsu at age 5, so that if she ever meets someone like Blake and we're not there, she will be able to defend herself fiercely. My heart breaks to think that one day Darla will know the truth, that her father so selfishly took her mother from all of us. He took away someone that should have been her best friend. We have made it a priority every day to give her all the love and attention she deserves, to put her needs and wants first, because that is what she deserves. That is what parents are supposed to do. Since Alexis was taken from me, my life has felt like the movie Groundhog's Day. Every day I wake up and for a split second, I feel the hope and inspiration that a new day could bring. And then the reality of our lives hits me, and the blood instantly drains from my face and my heart drops to my stomach as I remember that Alexis is gone. It wasn't a nightmare. It is my life, truly indeed a life sentence for me. At first I wished the death penalty were an option in Mass. I wanted Blake to know his death was coming in no uncertain terms, to have a moment where he knew he only had minutes left, and face in that moment the same fear that he made Alexis feel when he did what he did. I know now that that scenario would be too good for him, too easy. He now faces life in prison. Like Alexis, he will never have the freedom to go about life, to experience love again, to participate in family as a son, brother, nephew, and as a father himself, or to spend time with the people that truly care about him. I watched Blake's family sob as the jury's guilty verdict was read. The pain that he created by murdering Alexis is not only affecting the many people that loved and cared about Alexis, but his actions also deeply hurt the people that love and care about him. The grave difference here, Your Honor, is that Blake made choices and carried out actions that landed him in this position. Alexis did not. Blake's absence from his loved ones makes sense and has direct correlation to his actions. Alexis's absence does not. Blake Jeremiah Scanlon has given Alexis's loved ones a life sentence of relentless sadness, extreme pain, and deep feelings of fear and mistrust. The extremely ugly, brutal, and violent circumstances surrounding her death, a constant nightmare of how helpless, betrayed, and scared Alexis must have been in her final minutes. He deserves the exact sentence he receives, a life sentence for a life taken. Our entire family has been shattered forever, scarred by this tragedy. My 16-year-old, who had just turned 11 at the time, was diagnosed with severe PTSD 10 months after Blake brutally murdered Alexis. She has endured so much mental anguish, over the betrayal of Blake, that she has been hospitalized twice since 2019. We pray that with all the therapy she's undergoing, that she can recover mentally and emotionally from this tragedy and be able to live a normal life, our new normal. I now suffer from hypervigilance that is so crippling that I find myself unable to function at times. The worst thing that can happen to a person, the horrifying death of a child, happened to me. As a result, I now fear everyone and everything. I trust no one. I will never be the same. My family will never be the same. This doesn't end here. Court TV has in some way memorialized this tragedy. Over 70,000 people heard Alexis's story. Over 70,000 people, some from the other side of the world, prayed with us for justice. Even though we did not get to tell the whole story, everyone knew that Alexis's story was that of DV victims everywhere. We are not done telling her story. We will advocate for her for the rest of our lives. We will continue to call out Blake as her abuser whenever we speak of her. Alexis will not be forgotten. Alexis will live on. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. If you'll let me just a few comments. First, lawyers stand up in front of me every day and make arguments, but nobody can come close to the presentation that victims make, and I thank you for that. Secondly, I really love the pictures. I love the Disney one especially.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'll
Thank
give those
you.
back. Is there anything further from Commonwealth?
No, Your Honor.
Attorney Elkins, is there anything further other than this sentencing memo, which I read and will be docketed as part of the record?
No, as I said in the memo, we would rely on that. And as you know,